screens.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Connected. I'm your host, DJ Iz. Today we are on episode 24, and we have a very, very cool, dope, exciting announcement. We got a new co-host in the house by the name of Chloe. Chloe, go on and say what's up.
Hey guys! Hi, I'm Chloe Wyatt Taylor. I'm just so excited. I feel so blessed to just be here with you all now, and with you Iz. Because look at that face.
Well, look at yours, girl. I mean, we love to have you. And it's cool because this is actually the first time I got to see this new, cool, dope, edited intro video. And I saw they put a fly pic of you in there, which looked really good, man. So I'm happy to have you. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. For the viewers that have been catching us since day one, man, give it up for Chloe. We got some great energy. We got some good things coming up. And, kind of want to just brief you guys, for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time. This show here is pretty self-explanatory. It's called Connected. It's a show that's not just based on mentorship, education, or any of those cool things, but rather follow it up with job opportunities, which we call grind ops here. Now, real quick, kind of just like give them a feel of what the word grinding in this day and age means, or working, work ethic.
Baby, grinding, aka hustle, aka burn the candle, aka do it and make no excuses. Shall I go on? I mean, I can.
You know what? That's our first time hearing burn handle. I like that.
I say don't burn the candle. Go sometimes you have to.
I'm going to incorporate that into my daily now, because I'm always trying to find the most extreme, maximum words that promote work ethic. And to me, burn handle is really good. I like that, Chloe.
Look, baby, always more work.
All right, so check it out. Now, before we go into any of these grind ops, I kind of like to, give you guys a heads up on what to kind of get in place before we even go there, which is your notes, your iPad, however you document information in real time. Please make sure that you have these devices or paper, pen right next to you, because we have a lot of details for you guys today, all right, within these grind ops. So, Chloe, without any further ado, we are going to move on to grind op number 1.
The grind op number 1. You want me to jump in on this one? Because I can.
Go for it, girl. You got it.
Okay, so grind up number 1. It is for a freelance video producer in Orlando, Florida. Okay, so shout out to everything and everyone in Florida. There is a media company. It creates custom videos for clients, ranging in size from startups to Fortune 500s. That is a very wide spectrum. That's a lot of different people, different personalities we're dealing with, and they're seeking. So the candidate will be writing scripts based on specific guidelines, researching company products and services. So that to me speaks to the most communication. I don't know what you think.
No, absolutely. I think first of all, I want to recognize of how great this opportunity is. I mean, you're talking about startups, from Fortune 500s. Anything in that size, I mean, is a great opportunity. And the cool thing, Chloe, too, because we have a whole lot of film students over at the Recording Connection, and I kind of like to highlight them with these particular grind outs, especially in the field of film or video or anything that. And what's cool about this one is, man, you'll get a chance to be creative. I mean, you'll be writing scripts based on client, guidelines, researching companies, products, and services. I mean, it sounds like a really, really high energy kind of grind up as far as the creativity and the input. Further on, you'll be also acquiring assets for editors, including footage, music, and graphic templates. Candidate must be familiar with Adobe programs and be able to write scripts under tight deadlines. Now, Chloe, how important is it in this world? I mean, I know you do a lot in the video world and acting and whatnot. How important is it to be a person who can meet a deadline,
Oh my gosh.
show up on time, be prompt, estimate your traveling distance so that you can be on time if you're running a traffic. I mean, how important is it for those things to kind of kick in?
The most important. The most important, because that's the stuff that's going to make an impression before you even get there.
Right.
And that's the truth of it. And to that point, the last point of this particular grind up, right, is that candidate will be collaborating with clients via email and phone. So the importance of the deadline goes a step farther, because you don't have a personal check-in. You
right.
check-in.
Right. And another thing too, you got to be able to also understand the differences between communicating with a client and communicating with people you work with. Now, I know for me, when I deal with people that I work with on a daily, my posture, my language is a little different. Now, when I work with clients, it's more of a servant approach. It's more of a listening, really kind of making it a point to hear exactly what it is they want, what they're looking for, and just in a sense of conducting business. You got to know the language. You got to know how to speak to clients, and you just got to know how to speak to people in general. And I think it's important, when you start dealing with those kind of dynamics in any business relationship, it's important to put them first. They have that saying, Chloe, where the customer is always right, and I like to say, even when they're wrong, they're right.
The end. Right? One day you'll be cutting the checks, and you can be as wrong right as you would like to.
Exactly. And I think you always want to leave a client in a space of being satisfied with whatever it is you're doing for them. I mean, you that promotes good business, and you'd be surprised how many folks don't really know how to talk to clients. And I think within these kind of settings, you develop that experience on how to deal with people, how to talk to people, and really how to engage them. It's really different. And I say that because a lot of people, they're not really great at being social or even talking to people. So it's great to be able to get in and take advantage of these opportunities, but you got to know how to talk to folks.
Always. And you said something that's super key, is that you have to be able, yes, to talk and listen. And you said listen.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, Chloe, because I'm going to put listen as number one, and then 2, knowing how to talk to folks.
Yeah, thank you. It's not just like listen for the breaks. When do I speak? And like they say, BS, my line.
Exactly. All right, without further ado, we're going to move on to grind up number 2. Grind up number 2 is in the field of recording. Front and house engineer, production tech. Now, anytime you see FOH, guys, that means front and house, okay? For those of you who don't know. Now, this is a 4-star hotel. I'll be checking in. Anyways, seeking a front and house engineer that can operate sound and all lighting production for live events. This is in Nashville, Tennessee. Here are the details for this particular grind up. This is a front and house star hotel, or not a front and house star hotel, but a 4-star hotel. All right, you'll be operating sound and all lighting production for live events. Candidate will be working in close liaison with corporation management and incoming bands management as well. Candidate will be responsible for setting up the stage and making sure that everything is set to the specifications of the artist. Candidate must have at least 1 to 2 years of live sound experience. Hotel is located in a central position that constantly hosts industry professionals and a great way to network. Now, I want to shout out my team for putting all these difficult words in this particular grind out. But so let's pick each one of these details apart here, Chloe. So you'll pretty much be a liaison with corporation management and incoming bands management. Now, we just kind of got done talking about this kind of communicational posture in our first grind up. Now, I can say firsthand, when you're dealing with management on the band or artist side and corporation management, those are very, very two different dynamics. The best thing I can reference to is corporate management kind of looks like this, right? Straight up, upright. Artist management is kind of, you're just here. It's light. It's not as heavy. So that is definitely a difference there. And you'll also be responsible for setting up the stage. So for those of you who have never set up the stage ever, let me give you some quick insight on what that looks like. Now, when you're setting up a stage, you're dealing with different types of personnel. You're dealing with production managers. You're dealing with lighting. You're dealing with backline techs. And it can get very, very intense if everybody doesn't stay in their lane. Most of the times, folks don't stay in their lane, and it kind of intertwines, and it gets kind of, everybody's kind of just doing a bunch of stuff, and it can get chaotic. So that's definitely something to look out for.
Oh,
now,
wait, one second. What you're speaking to, it sounds like that this job is also patient.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And also, too, I mean, a lot of front-end house engineers that I've come into contact with in these environments, a lot of them don't really have the best attitudes in the world, Chloe. And, I think it's important to understand that, for this next generation of front-end house engineers coming up, I think it's important that you guys understand that the overall goal in this type of profession is to just complement the artist, complement what they envision their sound to be for the audience, because that's the most important thing. You want to do whatever it takes to keep an artist happy and excited about this particular night or show, and that really, that really comes with you, understanding the dynamics of personalities and how to work with various personalities. And I'm sure you can attest to this, Chloe, especially in this world, when you're dealing with artists or anybody in entertainment,
sometimes
they're just different. You know what I mean? Some people are outgoing, some people are very just direct, some people are rude, and you got to know how to just maneuver around these different dynamics, because the last thing you want to find yourself doing is getting an attitude or not willing to try things. And for any front-end house or aspiring front-end house engineer, you just want to come in. You want to come into this environment with your ears wide open and know what you're doing.
And this also speaks to what you were saying before about the actual grind. This is a grind job for sure, is what it sounds like. And also the idea of being able to separate what's you, like this is just business. This is not a personal attack on you. This artist may be in a mood. It may be a part of their it's just not. It's not about you.
Yeah, and that's a great way to put it, Chloe. I mean, this is strictly a servant type setting, because you're here to complement whatever it is that needs to be done on the artist side. And also, too, I mean, if you look at the last detail on this, Chloe, they're going to be doing and hosting industry professionals. So, these are great opportunities for, folks to meet people, network, and, and to possibly open other doors and opportunities for yourself, and I always like to think that whatever grind out we're bringing to the table, Chloe, that, they're platforms that can spawn off in other great opportunities for these folks as well.
Sure enough. Yes, I say yes to that.
Right? And it's a great way to network. So those are just some things to keep in mind for for all my front-end house engineers tuning in today. Also, it's important to know your gear. Know your gear, guys. Know what you're working on. Know what's out there. I would say if I was signing up for this venue or this particular place that was looking for a front-end house engineer, I would immediately find out what gear they're using, and I would instantly go do my homework.
That is an
because
excellent idea.
right, I would like to get in here and be able to fly and move. You don't want to get into these spaces and have dead time because you didn't do your homework and you didn't kind of, you know, seek out what kind of gear was in this place. You just kind of wanted to do on the fly. Oh, I can push them up. No, 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 no.
You're like,
You
I
don't
got
want to
this.
do
I know, I got this. Except that you get there, no, you don't got this.
that.
Why?
Right. Yes.
You could have consulted Aunt Google. Aunt Google knows everything.
Yeah. I mean, YouTube. I mean, it's out there, guys. And like I say, this is a non-error environment, guys. There's no, oh, my bads, or, oh, what happened? Oh, my computer. Oh, nah, man. This is prime time. You're dealing with industry professionals, folks. You must deliver, and you must always overperform and never underperform, right?
Ooh, I love that.
Right? I'm
Love.
telling you. I'm telling you. All right, so guys, moving on to grind op number 3. Chloe, what field is this grind op number 3 in?
Well, is grind op number 3 is for a production assistant. It's based in Atlanta, Georgia. It's for the VH1 TV pilot Daytime Divas. And they're seeking PAs, as we call them, in the industry.
Production assistant.
Yeah, yeah. So it says they must have a strong work ethic, critical thinking skills, and positive attitude. Okay. This one goes right in line with what everything we were just saying about the last one, specifically on the orchestration side, like of dealing with people, various types of people, because this is definitely that. PA, sometimes they call them like the gopher job, because go for this is go for that. You have to be absolutely humble and know that it is not about you. You know?
Key. That is key.
Yeah. It says responsibilities will include setting up lighting, cameras, and boom operator. And the last point is that the candidate will be working closely with the production supervisor. Yeah.
You know, I gotta say, Chloe, you know, I'm looking at this must have a strong work ethic, critical thinking skills, and positive attitude. You know, I'm just gonna say, Chloe, if you're on our show right now and you don't possess any of those qualities, man, this ain't for you. Right? I don't think what we're doing is for you. Because you know the reality is you got to have all of those to even partake in any type of job or opportunity that's out there. You got to be able to get out there and work. You got to be able to get out there and have a positive attitude, and you got to have thinking skills. All right.
Common sense can take you far in this world.
You know what's crazy though is, you know, common sense just isn't common. You know, and that's right. I mean, that's just how it goes, Chloe. I mean, common sense isn't that common. I mean, you know, in this day and age, you know, one of the things we've stressed throughout our show is the importance of a resume or a sizzle reel or something that just can tell the story without you having to tell it.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many folks just aren't quite there yet. And it's cool, it's great because it's another way for us to educate them and help them put it together. But, you know, it really starts with how you view yourself and how you like people to perceive you and what your presentation is within you. And I think, you know, those type of qualities, the work ethic, the drive, the know-how, being humble, I mean, those are things that, you know, this younger generation just, they don't know how to put their finger on it. And I think, you know, these opportunities only really come to life with what you're able to apply to them. You know, it takes application. And, you know, it's really just coming from a place of just being humble and understanding and understanding what it is you love, what your goals are, what your target is. Because you can really, like, you know, VH1, just to me, those 3 letters pop out to me instantly. If I'm somebody who wants to in one of these grind ops, like, I see VH1, I'm like, yo, where do I sign up? How do I get there? Who do I call? You know what I mean? So really, really important things to think about, you know.
And also that in terms of the ego and the humility of it, you never know who you are meeting. You never
Right.
ever know who you're meeting and how they're going to influence your life, right? Take every opportunity. They want you to set up a light, you set up the best damn light that you can, because you never know. Sometimes somebody's going to need you for something big. You keep staying at it and you stay humble. There will come a time when somebody needs you for something to. I'm going to say that again. I got excited. My words came out. They won't come out. You just never know how this little opportunity is going to affect you down the line, and that goes the other way. You can have a bad attitude, but how is that going to come back to you later on?
Right. And I'm looking at just kind of what the responsibilities are, and kind of just being in and out of these environments. As far as the work time frame, these can be early hours, they can be late hours, they can be overtime hours, and also too, just looking at you'll be working closely with production supervisor, and in the road of that, when you're working with people at that level, it's a very small road, and a lot of folks know a lot of folks, and this can be, like I said, another platform or launching pad for you to meet other folks and get more work. But just understanding the responsibilities, setting up the lighting, cameras, and boom operator, and like Chloe was saying, just be the best at whatever it is you're going to do when it comes to these particular responsibilities. If it's boom operator, if it's lighting or whatever, just overperform, be the best at it. That's the right. That's the best way to get that look. Man, that guy, man, he's always here before anybody. Or man, that girl, she's always the last one to leave, first one here. So those are the kind of things you want to allow people to see, and you want to have that kind of impact in your work environment. And it all starts with having a great attitude and getting there and getting stuff done.
Hustle, hustle, hustle.
Hustle. Clap it, Chloe. Clap it. Clap it.
Shake it. My cheerleading days.
All right, moving on to grind op number 4. This is in the field of recording. Audio engineer, commercial film studio, looking for an audio engineer to record for a corporate client. This is in Chicago, Illinois. Shout out to the city of Wind. Love Chicago. Some of these details are commercial film studio, looking for an audio engineer to record for a corporate client. Client will be recording multiple interviews and be responsible for editing these as well. Candidate must have at least 1 year of recording experience. Candidate will be working for a period of 1 month with the client. Candidate must be able to work in a fast-paced environment. Okay.
Yes.
This is another grind up that is great for our Recording Connection students, because it is asking that you have 1 year of experience in recording, which I know we got that at the Recording Connection all day. So hopefully we got some studio geeks tuning in with us today. Studio engineer, I mean, they come in all shapes and forms. I mean, it's, the great thing is, what's that, Chloe?
What do you mean?
Well, I think, just from the aspect of recording, the variables are, whether you're a studio recorder, whether you're, a film studio engineer. I mean, it's pretty much all the same principles. It's just, engineers have different preferences as to what they work on as far as gear. But like I say, it's important. It's always important to know an array of gear, or an array of equipment that comes with the grind off, so that you can just kind of be fluent on whatever platform it is that they're used to working on. So you'll be responsible for recording multiple interviews, and you'll also be editing these. So you definitely got to have your eye on those particular techniques, as it lends itself to your editing skills, your splicing, and all that stuff. Is really important. I know for me, when I look at somebody's work, when it comes down to the recording and the audio, I'm always listening for certain things, and just the quality of things. I think we kind of forget what level of quality things need to be at this elevation. Quality is king, and quality says a lot about you, your work, and really your skill level.
Right.
how many times have you heard a song, Chloe, that just kind of sounded, it just didn't sound right, right? It either was kind of muffled, it's just the quality wasn't there,
And you
and
know
you
that it's not a choice.
right, right, and you kind of just know, okay, they might have did this in their garage. You know, you kind of start like attaching scenarios to it. You know what
Yep.
I mean? Like,
The whole history.
right, right. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And uh, you know, the last detail of this is something I like because it's something that I'm used to. It's candidate must be able to work in a fast-paced environment. Um, Chloe, just like from, you know, just a quick, give us a quick idea of kind of like what a fast-paced environment looks like for you in your role, and how to just kind of flow within that, and you know, work with people that are just like on the go and getting stuff done.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the key components, and it's going to sound crazy, right? But breathing and knowing, like, just because somebody is coming at you with energy, it does not mean that you have to adapt that energy. You serve yourself better to take a deep breath, drop it in, and then work from that whole perspective. Because fast paced, I mean, on set means that they're trying to get the shot. They're running up against daylight. It's got to happen now, 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 now. And suddenly you feel this weight of responsibility that has nothing to do with you. And it's being able to separate, again, what we were saying before, what's in your power versus the stuff that has nothing to do with you.
Right, right.
High
That's a
pace,
good, right,
pressure, that's all that.
right. And I definitely, I totally agree with you 100%. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's being able to deliver, it's being able to execute, and you know, you work your way up to that, and that to me, you know, that comes with experience. That comes, you know, with knowing what the pressure looks like and how to identify with it, and not let it make you get into a space where you crumble. You know, and you know that comes with, you know, it's just you learn that you eventually acquire it. I know for me, when I first started, you know, I was, you know, I was nervous. You know, you have that weight of being able to keep up and being able to deliver, and through experience it comes, you know, to where you don't even recognize it anymore. You just do what you do. Um, so that's, you know, that's that for the audio engineer. So for all my recording students out there, make sure you definitely apply and take advantage of that grind up. Um, Another thing, it's for a period of 1 month with the actual client, so that's can, you know, spending any amount of time with a client like that. I mean, you can develop a really cool relationship that can, you know, possibly lead into other opportunities and things that can benefit you in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So, Chloe, with that, we're going to move on to our last grind up of the day, which is in the field of film. Here's another one for our recording connection students. This is
Yes.
videographer. All right, Indeed is seeking a videographer for a newly created job position within the corporate marketing team, and this is in Austin, Texas. Now, Chloe, we
Hit me.
had we had this was like a couple of shows ago. We had people who were like, you know, you got any grind ups out here in Texas or Philly, and you know, when these grind ups come up and they're in a place where I remember somebody was asking about them, I kind of like to highlight them because, you know, we do tell our viewers to just keep following us, keep track with us, because eventually we're going to have a grind up in the town you're from. And here we are again with the grind up that's in Austin, Texas. So I hope that Austin, Texas viewer is with us today, because this could be for you. So, Chloe, if you want to go ahead and kick off these details for our last grind up here.
I would love to. So Indeed is seeking a videographer for a newly created job position, corporate marketing team, which automatically, yes, we said this before, but I'm saying it again to reinforce the point, you are getting in from the ground floor. Candidate will be responsible for production and execution of each video, including scripting, editing, and other post-production requirements. Many hats. Many hats are being worn. This is also going to speak to deadlines. Many hats are being worn, and each hat has a specific, like, cutoff time. That's always the way for something like that. managing and acting as a single point of contact for all aspects of production, and to provide oversight of any associated budgets. Hopefully you can count. If you can't count, that's what apps are for. If you've got any sort of phone now, it has a calculator to help you. That's all I say about math. That's all I'm going to say about math.
Because I was terrible at math.
Oh, the worst. Remember those graphing calculators, and you'd be like,
Right. Yeah. Right.
Oh, so then next job point is to define and manage video production and post-production processes to effectively manage video project workflow, timelines, project direction, production budget, and quality. And this job requires at least 1 year of experience, as it should, because this is a very responsible, this is a grown-up job. This is not for play. Especially not when dealing with people's money. It's not for play.
You better tell them.
I'm just saying. If you come in over budget, that could be the end of you forever. But yeah, I think that the one of the main things to highlight is that you are getting in. It's a newly created job, so you have this wonderful ability to shape it. To shape it. And oftentimes with newly created jobs, they'll start you out at a lower level. You start to prove yourself. And
right?
Cash flow goes up.
Mm-hmm. I agree. No, just looking at these details, Chloe, I can say, man, this is for somebody who has some experience. Like this, you don't want to get in this grind up at all if you're not prepared. Mm-hmm. And I honestly feel like we don't even have to really cover a lot of these details because these ones are pretty self-explanatory. Like just the language of them, when you're a point of contact for all aspects of production and provide oversight of any associated budgets. This is corporate lingo. So I would say for those of you who are at this level and at this place, as it pertains to a videographer, I mean, if you feel like you have the experience to actually handle this, by all means, go for it. Mm-hmm. But this is one I can honestly say we can highlight as one of our grind ops that is experience driven. Yes. So, if you're starting out with your ABCs right now, man,
that's great. That's really, really good. This is not for you.
This ain't for you. And for anybody, just taking notes on these particular details, I mean, instantly this is prime time, and there is a difference between prime time and just regular time. So I would say for those of you, which I know we definitely have a few in our recording connection array of people looking for gigs. This one is definitely for you guys with experience. Mm-hmm. So without any further ado, Chloe, we're going to kick off into my favorite part of the show, and I'm sure it'll be yours too, which is our Q&A. Mm-hmm. But also too, I want to remind them, Chloe, we actually have a new website where I like to send them, which is www.rrfedu.com. And this is great because, a lot of times we get people that want to send in music, they want to send in, let's say, a resume, or they have questions. You guys can catch us here. This is a place where you want to get all of that info to. And, I hope we're able to, within a great response time, get back to you guys and keep you guys posted on things or things that you have questions about. So we're going to move on.
Where can we find you, though? On social media, where can we find you?
Well, I mean, they can find me at Is Connected Twitter, Is Connected Instagram, Is Connected Facebook. And also my personal, which is just is_Avila. And Chloe, where can they catch you?
Oh, well, across social media, you can find me at Always Chloe. There is no H anywhere in that. It is CLOIE. At Always Chloe on Twitter, on the Snapchat, on the Instagram, which I love, and the Facebook of Face under Chloe Wyatt Taylor.
I haven't gotten into the whole Snapchat thing, but I'm gonna get there. I'm working my way towards that. I haven't really been able to wrap my mind around it completely. But I'm sure you'll be able to school me on you know, the whole Snapchat thing and
Yeah,
get.
yeah, shut up. I will. I got you.
All right, so we got a couple of questions. Here's our first question: is it faster to get in the door and work your way up, or hold out for your dream position? Um, you know, man, honestly, I would say work your way up. You know, the dream position can only be, you know, it can only be held down if you got the experience. You know, because you can get into your dream position and be there for 2 seconds because you don't know what you're doing.
Mhm.
So, you know, definitely work your way up. I'm telling you, there's a lot more value in it when you work for it. When you work for it, you put in the time, you put in the sweat, the tears, and the sacrifice. You know, work your way up so that when you do get to your dream position, man, you're smooth sailing. All right, and that's super important. Um,
Remember the struggle.
remember the struggle. Um, next question is my man Katz. What's the latest projects you two working on? Um, well, I know for me,
Mhm.
you know, the Connected is a project me and Chloe are always working on.
For sure.
Um, I'm always in the studio right now. I'm currently working on my brother's project, his album. Working on a couple other things. I have a drum machine coming out. Chloe, that was one of the things I had went to Japan for. Was this drum machine I have coming out called the Arc, which
Hmm.
drops September 1st. So I'm excited about that. And honestly, right now I'm just focusing really on the fundamentals of what it is I do, which is my music, getting back to that on a day-to-day thing. How about you, Chloe? What you got going?
So right now I'm wrapping up a play, it's a production of Twelfth Night. I just got to shoot on the show Super Sword, which was super fun, which that sounds super funny. I said super like 8 million times. That's cool. I'm getting ready to do some work with the upcoming Pensado Awards, and I am working on my, in addition to Is Connected, which is so dear, my wine web show called The Grape Girls. So it's a hustle, and we get it all done. The hustle, grinding ops, grinding ops. That's
You better you tell them, girl. You tell them.
thank you, Kat.
Um, shout out to Cats, man. Thank you for tuning in. Next question is: I get what you said about the client is always right. So how do you deal with a client who is wrong? Um,
You take a breath. That's where you start.
yeah, you take a breath, and you never really get you never get confrontational. As hard as it might be sometimes with folks, you just never really get confrontational. Don't allow them to get your emotions going. I think you just always do the best you can to explain what it is, get clarity, and just try to move it forward the best way you can. You know, if the client's wrong, then just you know provide some options that help you get it back on track and just get things accomplished, get it done with the client, and you know just do whatever you can to help them move forward and make sure they're happy. I mean that's the best you can do. Now, if you get a client that refuses, there's nothing you can really do. I mean, you can't help somebody who refuses um, to accept your help. I mean, you just, you know, you gotta pick your battles and just know when to say, hey, I'm sorry I couldn't uh, uh, accomplish what it is you wanted, but you know, I did my best, and hey, man, water under the bridge, keep it moving, keep it moving.
Exactly. Maybe I can lead you towards somebody that can be a
Right, exactly. So next question, which is more important in life, technical skills or people skills?
the
Well,
answer there, I think. I think there is, especially in today's world, which is on social media, the two are
mhm.
running side by side and hand in hand. And how you deal with technical skills does not in any way, shape, or form outweigh your personal, your people skills. They have to go hand in hand.
Right, and I was just gonna say that too, Chloe. I mean, they run simultaneously. I mean, you know, I think people skills. I mean, that really comes up with really childhood, and you know, if you were out in the street or you played with friends, I mean, you just naturally acquire those things, you know, and you'll be surprised how many people just really never acquire those things as kids, you know, and you know, knowing how to make friends and talk to people and all those things, but you know, they work hand in hand. I mean, you can't have one without the other, especially these days. I mean, you can't. Um,
Please and thank you will take you farther than anything else.
Absolutely.
Whether
Um,
you're like, I need help, please help me. Thank you for helping me. Like, it's just manners. Manners.
right. There you go. So last question of the day. What kind of budget does it take to promote a song?
Ooh.
Um, that's an interesting one. I mean, these days it's really different because you have so many platforms to get your music heard, which is, Spotify, UMac, iTunes, your own social media. Um, so it really just it really comes down to your plan of attack. If you're tackling it region by region, that could be one budget. If you're going national, that's a whole nother budget. But I think the best way to go about music these days and promoting them is start in your backyard, start in your own backyard. Um, you know, Performing, getting in front of people is another great way to kind of push that cart up the hill as far as people allowing to experience your artistry. Um, but it always takes a team, and it's hard to get people to really move these days without some type of financial transaction because people just
Well,
don't. They can't afford to do things for free. Is the thing is people have relationships and those relationships do take you far, but at the end of the day, it comes down to budgets and what you actually can get going because you got to kick into that next phase eventually, and a lot of times that next phase requires hard costs, and there's relationships and hard costs are two different things. So that's something to definitely keep in mind.
business
Um,
versus personal. It's business, it's not personal.
Always, always. That is another fundamental that folks have tended to have forgotten in this day and age. It's never personal. It's a business, and people have responsibilities at the end of the day, and those are things you got to take into consideration. There's a lot of things I love to do for free for people, and I'm sure there's a lot of things Chloe would love to do. But at the end of the day, the gas light doesn't stay on, or the gas and light doesn't stay on by
Sure
themselves.
doesn't.
You
Sure
know,
doesn't.
you
Rent has to get paid at the end of the day, and it will. So I love you, and I'm sorry.
right.
Maybe there's something else that I can help you with.
That is the truth. So, Chloe, it looks like that is it for our Q&A. Guys, don't forget to, if you have any questions, if you have any material, if you have anything you want to get at us about, do not forget you can catch us at www.rrfedu.com. Also, don't forget to follow us on our social media because that is a great way to track Chloe and I with our day-to-day and what we got going on in real time, which allows you to kind of see what kind of demands these career paths do put on you. But it's a great way to stay connected. And shout out to our team, Chloe, Mike, Howie, Brian, for making this happen, bringing us together. Again, shout out to Chloe. This is her first day sitting with us. We're happy to have her on board. And, as you can see, we're just having fun, but we're bringing you, not
Jobs
just
and joy.
yeah, that's a great one. We're bringing you jobs and joy on a Monday morning, which is the day you want to get your week cracking. So make sure you tune in with us next week, every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, I'm your host, DJ Is. My co-host, too.
I am Chloe Wyatt Taylor.
You better tell them, girl. Look at that smile, guys. Man, I actually, this is cool, Chloe, because when you were giving one of the grind ops, I actually took my phone and took a selfie of you on my computer screen. 'Cause you look so joyful, and I'm gonna post that because I want folks to know, like, we got a new face here on Connected, and we're happy to have you. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and say peace, and I'm out, Chloe.
Mwah. See you next week.
Gotcha.